back to the start. We lost everything. We lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart. We lost everything. We lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart.
So far away, the only thing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place than here with you now, here with you now. see your face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away. The only thing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place. Here with you now, here with you now.
Welcome to Donington Park. Located in Leicestershire, England, it was opened back in 1931, making it the oldest permanent racing circuit in England still in use. Originally built for motorcycle racing, it quickly attracted car racing too. It has since hosted events such as Formula 1, MotoGP, BTCC, and more. GT3 and Donington Park go hand in hand with events throughout the British GT Championship and GT World Challenge Europe, where we have seen some of the most thrilling action with how these cars perform here. The Grand Prix circuit is a 2.5 mile or 4 kilometer long circuit featuring fast straights, sweeping bends, and challenging corners like crater curves and old hairpin. Some other famous corners at Donington Park are the crater curves, as mentioned earlier. It's a high-speed downhill section that leads to the old hairpin and is considered one of the trickiest parts on the track. Then we head into McLean's and copies. These corners require precise handling and are often key areas for overtaking. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host to Round 1's Race of Champions 24. After a long season full of drama and action, we finally arrive at the playoffs. 7 rounds to determine who is the Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Champion of 2024. Wheelspin has decided that Donington Park will be host to the first round in GT3 cars for what will be a closed event. CMRSC has visited the track many times throughout the DTM World Championship every year since its inception in 2022, as well as the 90s Touring Car Championship. This will host Round 1, as it did back at the DTM World Championship, where we saw a 4-car battle duke it out for the race win. It was Marlon Young who came out on top with an X-Play 1-2. What will the likes of the champions throughout the year be like when they fight against each other here for glory? It all starts here. This is Round 1, the GT World Challenge at Donington Park. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally come to the final chapter of the Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club 2024 season. So many championships running through this year, 7 to be exact. And this is it. This is what we call the playoffs. One final opportunity to go for glory, but this time the stakes are much higher than before. Winning a championship would qualify you to get to this stage, and this stage is going to determine who will be the Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Champion of 2024. And with a championship of highs and lows for so many drivers, we begin off here at Donington Park for the beginning of this series. As the drivers put in their last bit of practice, we welcome you out here once again to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, where we are gonna
ourselves an amazing race here today. And already seen an incident by looks to be a ghost out there, but nonetheless, many champions make their return back here, and we're looking at one of them here. That's your Formula 4 European champion, Gabriel. But if you take a look at the side of your screen onto the leaderboard, you're going to see all the drivers who have qualified, as well as regular season drivers who are allowed to take part in this race. So let's take a look at those champions. This right here is your Formula 4 European champion. Dominated it, I will say. Gabriel, who was in the title contention back at this very championship of the GT World Challenge powered by AC. During the Ferrari Challenge in March, was not that much of a show-off over there. But in the open wheel, that returned back since 2022, Gabriel really showed what he is made of and dominated the competition. And here we have Andy Rees, who sits in pits at the moment. Andy Rees was the champion of the IMSA Vintage Championship. A championship that was probably with one of the most challenging cars that CMRSC has ever hosted. And it was Andy who came out on top in that 4-round spectacular. In such a very unique championship, definitely way ahead of its time, where Andy Rees took his debut championship victory, debuted at the beginning of it, and absolutely dominated throughout it. So we're going to find out how he's going to do out here. Remember to last week, he was in heavy contention for the title for the GT4 European Championship, but we will get to those two drivers in a moment. Continuing on the list, we'll briefly mention the Ferrari Challenge, where it was won by Alfie Bevan. Unfortunately, Alfie Bevan is not here for today's race, but we should see him very soon. Back to the GT World Challenge. The cars you're looking at here, the champion, Luca Andretta, one of the fastest sim racing drivers just ever. And it is absolutely incredible what he can do around these cars. Unfortunately, yes, as I've said, not here today, but we will find him very soon. I believe next week we will be seeing him. Let's get some cars on the track here. There is Mads on track there. Our sweep last week out took over race 1 and race 2 at Sugo. But yes, Luca Andretta winning the GT World Challenge back in February. March, it was Alfie Bevan who took over and won Ferrari Challenge. Gabriel won the Formula 4 European Championship. The IMSA Vintage Championship went over to Andy Rees. Then we head into the LMP2 SPEC Series Championship, which was our very own Dutchman here, Mike Van Doorn, who would take one of his 2 titles here in the year, one of very few multi-time champions. But Van Doorn in the Alfa Romeo, one of the best sounding cars on the track. So we're gonna see how he does out here. But yes, that is your LMP2 World Champion there, who did qualify through that. Then we get into the flagship, the DTM World Championship. And if you remember, this year was a bit different. The first 4 rounds were hosted internationally, with the last 4 being done in the Caribbean. As such, we were able to crown 3 different champions. The first would be the overall champion throughout the entirety of the DTM World Championship. That champion is Marlon Young. Unfortunately, we are still waiting to see if he does come through here for today's event. At the moment, we are not seeing him just yet, but we are seeing his teammate who won the Caribbean leg of the championship. That man in the Audi is Martin Webster, the Guyanese, who was able to really stretch his wings out. And it was incredible. An absolute incredible performance by him in the closing stages of that championship. Very close racing. Over to the Radical Caribbean Cup side, it was the second half of the Caribbean Motor Racing Championship. And that champion is, of course, your back-to-back 3-time champion, Khalil Rickford. Has not seen him in for today's race, but should hopefully be seeing him in future events. Not to worry about that. And then we headed into the recent championship, which was such an interesting race that was at Sugo. But throughout the championship, it was dominated by this man, Cody Lawrence, which took home the title in a championship contender, which was between Mike Van Doren and Andy Rees. But with the points already standing and with the rules set of once you win a championship, if you do win one again, it'll go over to the next driver in line to take over that position in Race of Champions. And Cody Lawrence took that one very, very swell. It was against Andy Rees and Mike Van Doren, who had the greatest GT4 race I've probably ever seen. It was amazing. But, of course, Van Doren came out on top and claimed his second championship, but of course already winning that championship early on in the CMRSC regular season. It was Cody Lawrence who took over that final pick and debuting at the beginning of GT4. It's incredible to see how Cody Lawrence has grown. He's an open wheel man himself, so come Formula 4, well, we are going to have an interesting race over there, and we're going to see how that one turns out. But so far, 8 drivers entering into the fray with 3 minutes left to go into this session here. So don't go anywhere. 3 minutes left to go, and then we're going to get into a 10-minute qualifying session. We will determine the first round of who is going to take pole position. That one bonus point, every point counts, but that bonus point is so crucial. Absolutely crucial to get that one. Every point's going to matter. Points are awarded throughout the week. And let me tell you here, folks, the action is only starting here in practice. Although there's nothing too much to talk about, just wait in about a couple of minutes time. As soon as we get qualifying going, we are going to be upping the ante here. The action is really going to get underway. Pole position. It's going to be very interesting to see what will go down here. So far, the fastest time is up to Gabrielle right now with that 1:24.323. Is that the fastest time that's on the board? Well, yes, it is, but it wasn't all week long, as Mads, Andy, and Cody Lawrence were your 3 main drivers to really be the absolute fastest around here. And with Cody Lawrence, who was dominating the lap charts for the entire week, well, it's incredible to see how he's going to fare with Aliens of the Past throughout 2024. A minute 30 left to go. There you see how Mads just takes it turn 1 so aggressively. You can watch him on board now. A minute 20 left to go. So it's a little bit of a sneak peek of what we can expect. And let's take a look at these sector times as we are at it here. Very clean as we now pass through the old hairpin section, now rising up the hill. Now are the brakes for McLean's. Into the right-hander, then the blinding right-hander up here. And not using all the apex that he can, but nonetheless still on for a very decent lap, as Andy Rees is going to take down his time with a 1:25.0. But the last time we saw Donington Park was at the DTM World Championships. That championship in this race saw a four-car battle for the race win. It was Marlon Young and X-Play who really dominated that one. Once again, not seeing Marlon Young out here, but take a look at those trophies on the side. Those are your champions, and they are up at the top of the timing sheets for a reason. They're your quickest drivers. As you see Mads there going up into a 24. Still a couple tenths behind, but as the checkered flag now waves. Here we see Gabrielle entering into the pits. We are now getting set to go qualifying here for the first round of 7. Next week out, it is Ferrari Challenge. Remember, the track is undecided. it will be selected by the end of the event, where we do a live wheel spin that will determine what the next track will be. So really, these drivers are not gonna be able to practice too much ahead of time, since there are over 8 tracks to pick from. And look at that, Andy Rees was purple in the second sector, purple in the first, comes across the line. Is this gonna be the best time? No, it's 2/10 off, but we are now entering the transition phase into qualifying. And we are basically just about ready to go racing here. So the drivers are gonna be coming out in just a few minutes now. Take a look at those practice times already. Gabrielle with the fastest time of a 1:24.323, followed by Mads with a 1:24.991. And Andy Rees with a 1:25.057. We saw how quick he was in that first and middle sector. He potentially could have backed off. 7 of you guys watching the stream, thank you so much for tuning in to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 650 subscribers. So, as we get the action about to get underway, we welcome you here. I am Rahul Nasir, host, founder of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. This is Race of Champions. This is the playoffs where it all goes down. It is some of the best racing you're going to find, where champions come together in this final bout. We are just 16 seconds away from qualifying. Stay tuned. We're going to get the action right underway. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first round of qualifying here for Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Race of Champions. As the drivers start to exit pits now, there you see how busy it is. All the drivers coming out. A little bit of lag there from the Lamborghini of, I believe that's Andrew Rupner-Rhine. So already is going to be getting a check on that. And already looking at it. So Andrew, your ping sorry, Andrew. Yeah, your ping is very high. I'd recommend you just try to rejoin the server. Make sure you don't have anything updating in your computer in the background, because you are having your ping is over 5,000. So I just double check that.
It was 2,000. It's got to 5,000.
Yeah, it raised up. Nonetheless,
I was gonna say, I was driving around and some blue car was like spazzing everywhere.
yeah. So everybody's ping is fine. It's just yours. But I think if you rejoin, should be good.
Yeah, whoever that Aston was.
We shut everything down you're not using.
So, as we already see a laggy car there, we're gonna help out Andrew, making sure he's good to go for the action here. You're gonna hear all the drivers communicate with each other. But it is Gabriel who's gonna be the first man who's gonna put in the flyer for everyone to chase down. So we're gonna watch Gabriel now as he goes down through Hollywood. Very quick section down here. And then we head into the kink here. Not as much apex as I believe Gabriel would have wanted, but now completely flat out through the old hairpin section. And now we are gonna rise up into McLean's, and then we rise once again, and this one is the blinding hairpin. I should say not too much of a hairpin. That's cop piece. As we exit out of turn 8. Down the back straight now.
I don't know what's been going on with my AC today. It's been spazzing out so much.
Through the Essex. Onto Starkey Straight. And then now heading on to Melbourne Hairpin. First gear corner, double apex here. One of the weirder apexes in the world you're gonna find, where it's a double apex that you kind of have to hit both of them. Normally you want to be wide for one and hit the other. But these drivers have been finding it a lot more quicker to take the double apex. But around the final corner of Goddard's and across the line, the drivers are gonna be chasing down a 1:24.638. We look in the back there. There is Cody Lawrence, who puts a time of a 1:25.233. Here comes Van Dorn in the Alfa Romeo, who's going to put his time down on the board. Is it valid? It is not. Andy Reid's going to come across the line and going to put his time up into P2, a 1:24.9. Danny Nasir also came across the line with a 1:26.720. And we're just waiting for more times to come across the line. Here comes Lance Nasir in the Mercedes. Now coming across, P5. And then here we go, Martin Webster. So first laps coming across here, top 3 drivers, Gabrielle, Andy Rees. And Cody Lawrence is your top 3 so far. And there we see Gabrielle, a bit all over the place. With his sectors here, yellow in the first, purple in the second. Ignore the green one towards the end there, but he is chasing down his previous and the fastest lap on the board here. And we're going to watch him now come across the line. Final corner. And across here. Let's see. Front straight now for Gabrielle in the Aston Martin. Coming across the line. It's no improvement, but it's very close. 6.75. Andy Rees a little bit far behind there. Cody Lawrence still trying to work his way down. 25.021 now. You see Andy Rees warming up his tires, letting go of his teammate. I believe, yes, that is Mads. And Mads is going to put up his time with a 1:25.198, so it's P4 for him at the moment. And it looks like Gabrielle. Yellow in that first sector there. Just heard him briefly. And we see Andy Rees in the Aston Martin. Beautiful livery, I will say. The black and red, kind of galaxy-like livery. It's very sweet looking. He's actually very much on par with Gabrielle's first lap time. And we look at Gabrielle now himself. He found purple actually in the first sector, but is just losing out a little bit in that second sector. Now comes Goddard. It's the final corner now. On board with him. Final corner. Looks pretty neat and tidy. Gets onto the loud pedal. And now ready to come across the line. Could this potentially be provisional pole and be quicker? No, it's 2/10 slower. And then Cody Lawrence coming across, nothing he could do there. I'm not too sure if Andy Rees backed out on his lap time. And looks like he is. Gabrielle also pulling over to the side of the track. Gonna try one more fresh set of brand new tires with 3 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in this qualifying session. So we're gonna see how he does here. We watch him coming out of pit road. Meanwhile, Lance is here bringing out yellow flags on the start-finish straight, but very wise to jump right back into the pits. Don't hamper anybody's lap times. So here is Cody Lawrence still struggling. 4/10 down in the middle sector as he's chasing down the pole time of a 24.638. He was able to get into the 24s during open practice. He was able to capture the bonus 4 points before the season begun. But here comes Cody Lawrence anyways. And we're going to see if he can improve at all in this lap. Takes a very wide entry, so I have a sneaky suspicion that he's just setting up now for the next lap.
Parking on the apex.
And Gabrielle, we always know Gabrielle is always someone.
Wasn't even on the track.
Too late, man.
Gabrielle is always one to be very feisty on track. Imagine a Max Verstappen in sim racing. Our own version of Max. I gotta give it to Gabrielle. He's got that aggression. But here comes Mads, though, with an amazing lap time of a 24.636. And he puts that car in provisional pole. The Aston Martins dominate, but it's Mads who takes provisional pole. Wow, what a lap time. Unfortunately, we did not get to see it, but Holy, what a lap!
Is the ping better now?
Let me just double check for you. A lot better, yes, you're back to 25. All right, what a qualifying lap there from Mads. And he puts himself on provisional, and I think that's really shocked to all the Race of Champions drivers there. These playoff drivers are probably shocked that, my goodness, what a lap. But Gabriel's not gonna go down without a fight. There you see him purple in the second sector, going through the chicane, and we have 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go. So, and I believe, yes, Gabriel is going to be the only driver who's going to get one more opportunity at another flyer lap here. I don't believe we're going to see the likes of Danny Nasir and Rup Narayan able to get their lap time in, but around the final corner, we're just going to see if Gabriel has improved on this lap time. 24.636 to beat across the line. Oh, and it's purple in the third sector. He found a 10th. It was just the first sector holding him off. Taking a look down the order. There we see the teammate of Mads. That is Andy Rees. So Andy now around Melbourne Hairpin. What can he do? He sees his teammate on the top. He's got 20 seconds, and I believe he might actually get around for one flyer. A lot of these drivers just about able to. He should. It's gonna be very close with the driver behind him. I'm not too sure. Mike Van Doren has about 5 seconds to come across the line. Can he get across just in time? Yes, he is. One more time to go for him, and the checkered flag is out. We're on board here now with Gabriel as he enters into the chicanes, the Assets now. Taking as much curve as he can. And he's flying. Second sector is purple, but the first sector, he lost out a bit of time. His Delta just dancing around. Can he do it? Coming to the line. Final corner for Gabriel. It's all or nothing at Goddard's. Now onto the front straight. Can Gabriel put this car on pole position? No, he can't. It's 2 tenths down. He's made a mistake early on in the lap, and it's not going to help. We watch Rup Narayan. We also have the likes of Andy Rees still on a lap time behind him. And Andy's actually going to take it to the pits. And that might be qualifying. Rup Narayan around the final corner is going to come across the line. He's not set a lap time yet, but he could take down Lance Nasir for 31.7. And yes, he is. It's a P8 from him. Wow, that is an incredible lap time. Mads is going to take pole position here. Back-to-back pole positions 2 weeks in a row. 124.636. Wow. All right, great qualifying there. Top 3, Mads, Gabriel, Andy. That lap really came out of nowhere, and that is very close to 1,000th of a second.
I have no idea how I did that.
That is awesome, though. But, yes, we're getting into the race now. You're going to get about 2.5 minutes once cars are on the grid. 45-minute race. Mandatory tire change in the race. So, yeah, once the timer expires, there is no extra lap. So, wherever the leader is on when the timer expires, that will determine the final lap of the race. So, just to go over again, 45-minute race. Mandatory tire change. You can come in for fuel if you like, but you must come in once in this race for tires. Other than that, it's just racing to the checkered flag. And that's going to do it here for qualifying. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Mads on pole here for the first round for Race of Champions. Incredible effort from him, I will say. Absolutely stellar performance. But now we're getting ready to go for qualifying here. Sorry, qualifying for the race.
Champions. Luca and Marlon.
So Marlon was not able to make it. Lucas said he has an event for tomorrow coming up, so He said from after this round, he'll be here for the rest.
Okay.
All right, so drivers on the
Let's have
grid
your
here.
race, guys. Not sure I'm going to be able to do too much more than what I did with Wally. So, let's have a good one, guys.
And the driver's saying their last bits of good luck. But we're going to get this one
back after the start phase. So, good luck.
underway. Here we go. So,
Oh, I forgot. We need to start with a clutch. Yo.
we're going to let them discuss there. Minute 45 left to go. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club proud to present Race of Champions. It's round 1 at the British Grand Prix at Donington Park. Let's do this. Here we go. Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. It's round 1 of Race of Champions 24. Let's take a look at that qualifying standings there. Matt put it on pole, followed by Gabrielle. The gap to 1,000ths of a second. You cannot get closer than that. Matt's the only driver there in the top 5 who is not a champion. You'll indicate your Race of Champions drivers or playoff drivers with the trophy icon, but it's Mads on pole, followed by Gabrielle. Then it's Andy Rees, Cody Lawrence, Mike Van Doren, Danny Nasir, Martin Webster, Andrew Rupner-Ryan, and Lance Nasir. Donington Park is gonna have ourselves an incredible fight for the top step. 30 seconds left to go. And here we go, 18 seconds left to go here on the timer. Music's gonna go down. We're about to get underway for the first round, a crucial one to get right at the very start. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights for the first round. We go racing here at Donington Park. Great start there from Mads as he takes the lead. It's 3 wide, heading into turn 1. Quickly staggers down. Van Doren shuffled down to 5th. And now we get the action underway here. But look at that, side by side, down Hollywood. It's Gabrielle. Oh, and it's Andy Reid. It's a bit of contact between the Aston Martins, but they still keep it racing. Now Andy and Van Doren go through with Van Doren around the outside. And that's a car off, and I believe that is Danny Nasir as well as Andrew Rupner-Ryan. But it's Matt who takes the lead. Cody Lawrence got the jump, and he's got an amazing start up into 2nd place. Gabrielle in the background, gonna start hustling early on. You know he's gonna want to get this position as soon as possible and does not want to lose Matt. If in qualifying alone, they were so close to each other. Down the back straight, there they go. Into the chicane here. 4 cars so close to each other. I mean, watch on to the rear. Mads has already pulled a gap as there we see Gabrielle trying to go for a move, touches the rear of Cody Lawrence. He goes a little bit wide, and Cody Lawrence having to pull his elbows out early on in this race as Gabrielle, trying every stop now, goes around the outside, around the hairpin of Goddard's. Who's it gonna be? Coming around the final corner, Gabrielle with the legs is gonna go up into 2nd place. What an opening lap here of Racing Champions. This is what it's all about, baby, as we get going now. Those are all the champions all together. So majestic here as Andy Reid shuffled down to 5th position. But here comes Van Doren as he goes side by side around the Audi. Down Hollywood. He's going to let go of the position. Van Doren up into 3rd. And now here comes Andy Reid. But Van Doren running deep. A little too wide there. And now Cody Lawrence with a chance in the Audi. Goes side by side. Coming up to Michelin's. Who's going to be the first of the late breakers? Van Doren around the outside is going to sweep it around and hold on to the podium place. Behind him, though, here comes Andy Reid. Was a little bit wide. I believe he went off track there for the moment. But keeping this one alive. And now the hunt is on. Gabrielle, 1.3 to Matt. Cody Lawrence, though, still within a chance through the chicane. Great exit, though. And he's going to get a move. Will he get a move on to Melbourne hairpin? Is he going to back out? He does back out. Andy Rees so close to Cody Lawrence's rear, having to back out. And now heading into Goddard's. But Van Dorn has made it wide, waited too wide. Mads with the fastest lap of the race, quickly taken by Gabriel, almost a second faster. Van Dorn, still a little bit of defense left to do, runs very wide, locks up the inside tire. Cody Lawrence with a huge chance at getting back third position. As they continue to fight though, the gap has increased to 2.8 seconds to the two drivers ahead. And it's so hard to follow down here as we see Andy Rees trying to look for a move there into the kink. And now as they head up through the old hairpin. There you see Cody Lawrence is almost being slowed down here by the Alfa Romeo. Nowhere to go. Van Dorn running a little bit deep. A huge opportunity here, but almost impossible to set up a move. Just better to stay in the slipstream and make up the position, time bombing either into the hairpin or through the exits. But you don't want to waste any more time because the gap has already increased 3.7. Now into the exits. And it's a lot more slower once again for Van Dorn. More for Cody Lawrence. Will he go down the inside? Andy Rees side by side with the American driver. But as they come out the hairpin there, Andy Rees is going to stay behind him. Wow, just incredible action here. As they go into the hairpin, Andy's going to take the long way around, going to square up the final corner, get onto the front straight. Gabriel, though, fastest lap of the race, and he is slowly arriving to the rear end of Mats. They're a second apart. Our attention here is on this battle. Battle for third place. And, oh, a little bit deep there for Cody Lawrence. Dropped the tire onto the curb. And all these three drivers here pushing to the max. Very even through the kink section, going up old hairpin. They're very much identical here. But we have 40 minutes left to go of racing. And trouble! What has happened? Was there a position change? No, there was not. I believe our timing board may have just slightly had an issue there, but I think it's fitting that we do go back up to this battle because, oh, actually, hold on. Cody Lawrence makes a mistake and drops down, allowing Andy Rees to go through. It's like every time we just cannot lay our eyes off a single battle, but it has to be one at a time. But now we come up to our fight for the lead. Mads against Gabriel. This is going to be a hell of a fight. Who's it going to be? Both identical cars. It's just setup and driver skill that's really going to make the difference. But Mads goes a little bit deep there, locks up the tires, then gets back onto the front straight. So meanwhile, Cody Lawrence got a bit of work to do to reel in these drivers up ahead that he lost out on. Here comes Andy onto the front straight into turn one. A little bit wide there from Van Dorn. And look how wobbly, it's so unstable the rear end is on that Alfa Romeo. Following in the slipstream, you get so close through Hollywood. And oh wow, very close between the two. 2/10 the difference. Meanwhile, 2/10 also the difference between your leaders. Two incredible fights to watch through McLean's, and looks like Andy cannot get it done this time around. But now we head on to the back straight, where this is going to be a good opportunity if Gabriel can set the move up. Into the exits now. A little bit deep, too deep for both of them. They both hit the gravel together. Both of them following each other's lines. Meanwhile, side by side, Andy Rees, Mike Van Dorn. Contact is made. Bumps Andy off the track. That's rubbing for you. Here comes Cody Lawrence side by side. Even more contact made. Oh, and it's all three of them off. All three drivers off the track. And both of them on top of each other here. Oh my goodness, fireworks set off. We saw them make contact with each other back at Suco. And this rivalry just heats up more and more. Wow, what a fight. Now both of them, 37 minutes ago, are on the back foot with damage. Van Dorn will head into the pits. Andy Rees will continue staying out. That one definitely under investigation, but that battle coming up to a dead heat between them. Cody Lawrence is going to get a 2-for-1 special here at Donington Park. Here comes Cody Lawrence. Sorry, here comes Gabrielle. My apologies. Gabrielle now, nose to tail with Matt. Look how close this is. All over the rear of the Danish driver, forcing him into a mistake. Fight for the ages. What a race this is turning out to be. If you're loving what you're seeing, you gotta join up Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. This is where the action is. You're not gonna get any better sim racing on any other platform. This is the best of the best going at it. Gabrielle. Mads is a 3-time race winner in CMRSC. And Gabrielle's a multi-time race winner and a former world champion. So 2 different prospects here of sim racing, with Gabrielle theoretically the better driver out the 2, but with Gabrielle with a bit of an AC hiatus, even though he's the quicker driver here, how is he gonna get past Mads? He goes very wide there. Has he let the door open? But Gabrielle's rear end kicks on a little too much, and that's gonna slow him down. Trouble for Ruben Orion. He's just got it wrong through there, but he's back going and racing through the kink. It's a very close race between the 2. Lance this here also finding trouble. Oh no!
Andrew, you can't come back on the track like that, dude.
That's what that's why I had a feeling of.
Not just come back and drive right across.
That's what I had a feeling of. I did see Andrew Ruben Orion rejoin the track.
Basically done.
Still got 35 to go.
It doesn't matter. He's got to understand he can't just drive back onto the track and drive
Right,
across.
yes. That's understood. So, here we go. Into the Essets now. Onto the straight once more. Van Dorn has entered the pits for the 2nd time in this race. Remember, job's not done for these drivers at all. There's still a lot of racing left to go here as we watch Andy Rees now trying to come back up through the field. He's currently sitting in 6th position. He's going to go very deep around, trying to get the long way around Danny Nasir's. Your fight for P5. And they are just about 3-4 tenths separated between each other. And down into the hairpin, and Andy Rees is going to have the door wide open, and they're going to go side by side onto the front straight. And who's going to be the one to give it up first? Oh, door-to-door action! Andy does not move to the outside line. Danny Nasir thought he would have. And that's some great defense there. And he's going to go through. Andy Rees is going to come up into 5th position. Van Dorn is back out on track. Currently 9th position. So he's got a lot of work to do climbing back up the order. Here comes Gabrielle now once again. 7 laps of these 2 drivers battling so hard. Oh, but here into the braking section now. So much overspeed as Gabrielle goes into the grass. This might be his best opportunity as they go into the hairpin now. Side by side, Gabrielle dives it down in. Can Matt pull the switch back? Goes to the outside. Door is closed. Outside for Matt. Can Gabrielle hold on to this move? Around the outside now, Matt. Can he pull another switch there? Bit of a lockup from Gabrielle. He cannot. Gabrielle has taken the lead of Donington Park, the British Grand Prix. Gabrielle, what a fight it was for him. Mads is gonna try to fight back now. Battle is not quite over, and a little bit of a better exit there from Matt. Still keeps his hope alive. Oh, cuts the track actually. Turns it way too early and has lost so much momentum down the hill. That's not what he wants at all. These drivers have 5 cut tracks that they are allowed to take. The 6th one will mean they have to take a drive-through penalty. But it's starting to look like Gabrielle is already opening it up, and he is starting to fly now. And it's, yeah, really opening up that gap. Meanwhile, Ruben Orion has entered the pits in the Lamborghini, and he's starting to exit the pits now. We find Van Dorn here, sitting in P8. Is a lap car for Martin Webster behind him in P4. What a fight Van Dorn and Andy Rees had, and that's going to be very hard to know that the driver you're battling with for position is right behind you. Meanwhile, we go back up to the front pack. 25-2 for Gabriel, 25-5 for Mads. So still half a second between each other. Lance Nasir up the road, lap traffic. I think very soon we're gonna hear one of these drivers call out to Lance if he does not get out the way a little sooner than they would have liked. But he knows he does have the blue flag warning. Oh, and that's on the corner exit there, side by side. Lance Nasir.
Good job, mate. Good job.
Lance Nasir's made contact.
Good job. Good job. I'm just saying.
Lance Nasir. Was that Lance not getting out the way in time, or was that Gabriel
Just stay on the racing line. That's how you do it.
Going for the space that wasn't ultimately there? Well, that
I would,
right
but
there.
I always get complaints.
That is
I'm
definitely going to be looked at.
So you guys do what you want to do.
Is going to be looked at there. What just transpired? Did Gabriel? I believe Gabriel may have went for a move that was just not there. Maybe not the space. Meanwhile, we watch Andy Rees now, but Mads has taken back the lead of this race because of that incident. Again, we'll take a look at a replay after, but Andy Rees is now fighting against Martin Webster for position. Mike Van Dorn ahead of them. If he has the pace, he's more than welcome to stay up ahead. And if you guys watching the stream, this has been an incredible race out here at Donington Park. Absolutely incredible. Meanwhile, trouble there. Oh, that is Andrew Rupen-Ryan. As Mads is going to come across here, he's going to watch the yellow flag up the road. He's going to get out the way momentarily. Gabriel is going to pass him, so he's good. That's one less driver they got to worry about. Meanwhile, Martin Webster's going to take it into the pit, so that's going to end this battle here. Now, Andy Rees is going to face up against Mike Van Dorn, which, honestly, this should be the fight for third position, but because of the fireworks that went off, it unfortunately came to a sudden end. But meanwhile, they're going to keep racing with each other, and while they do, we are going to get a live replay of what transpired through the stream. So just stay tuned to that. Meanwhile, we watch Andy Rees now go head-to-head with Mike Van Dorn. Meanwhile, Andrew Rupen-Ryan has retired out this race. Rupen-Ryan is out. And we did see him making a lot of mistakes out on track. But I think we're now just about to get a replay of what happened. So yes, we are. So take a look at the Aston Martin in the front. We're going to go on board with him in a second. But we watch this was Mads. You see Lance Nasir up ahead of Gabriel. We swap to Gabriel now. And there you just see, was there enough time for Lance Nasir to truly get out the way? The second contact, however, may be the real difference there. Let's go frame by frame here. So we look at on board. We're just going to get onto him. There we see so much overspeed coming from Gabriel. And with a slower Mercedes there, could have Lance got out the way. It may have been a bit too ambitious. So I'll give Lance Nasir credit there. There was no way that he was going to be able to let through Gabriel. However, was there contact? Did he close the door? It does look like it. Lance Nasir, was it closing the door? It definitely does. Gabriel would have had to go over the curb, but remember, the white line is painted outside the curbing, so it's a little bit unfortunate there that is how that has transpired. So as it stands there, it will be looked at after the race. It has to be looked at a lot more into detail on what exactly happened. But meanwhile, it has left Gabriel with damage all around the Aston Martin. You look at the top of your screen, it's yellow all over the car. With Mads, he's got a perfect car here, and honestly, a second chance at glory. A second chance to really bring this one back. So as this race continues, we look back at Van Dorn, seeing if he can pull this race back around to be his. The driver he has to overtake next is this man here who's coming around Melbourne hairpin. That is Martin Webster. So he's going to have a lot of work to do to come right back into this fight. But I think that just shows how much that these drivers are willing to go racing for. Respect is one thing, but once you're in the driver's seat, those friendships that you make before, it's all out the window. Respectful racing always is going to be there. But at the same time, you always want to be on top. You want to pull all the stops to become the best of the best. And as we have 26 minutes left to go in this race, I did just hear some yellows there. I don't know who it was. Was that Cody Lawrence by any chance? I did see some local yellows. Somebody going into the gravel, I presume. Meanwhile, here comes Danny Nasir on his brother, Lance Nasir. Audi versus Mercedes, two German manufacturers. Coming up now around the hairpin. This is a lot more easier for Lance to let through, and he is. I think Danny Nasir also wanted to go a little more wider through the corner, but Danny Nasir will take what he can get, and he can continue racing here. So here we see some live comments here, Steven. Mads opened the gap a little before the replay. I remember him being closer. So, you may not have seen it, but Gabriel was able to get the move. But Gabriel was caught with some blue flags, with some lap traffic. It allowed Mads to go through. Gabriel was slowed down just a little bit, and he lost a bit of time. In fact, caught a little bit of damage with it as well. So now Mads has had a 2.1 second lead, and it's been staying there ever since that incident occurred. But we're going to take a look at the lap time now across the line. Gap is now about 1 point. Now, looks like it's just dancing around that 2 second mark. 25.4 against a 25.3. So Gabriel is quicker. Gabriel is definitely quicker this time by. But still, a lot of work to do to catch up. They still have to make a mandatory pit stop. Will Gabriel fix the car? Will it take time in the pits? We do not know, but we do know is that we are in store for an absolute barnstormer. Because if you missed the beginning of this race, Mads and Gabriel, for 7 laps straight, paddled it out, nose to tail. And it was Gabriel who pulled an amazing move onto the inside of the hairpin, an optimal place to get the move done, and he was able to get the lead. But now the roles being back to what they were back at the beginning of this race, it has now put Gabriel once again on the back foot with a little bit of damage to now close up the gap. Slowly but surely, though, it looks like Gabriel is going a lot more quicker. However, the gap is still dancing around 2.2 to 1.9, especially he's gaining so much in the final sector. You see, that's where he's improving around the hairpins. To give you perspective, oh, trouble. What has happened to Andy Rees? Andy has actually found himself facing the wrong way, and he has been overtaken by Danny Nasir and Martin Webster. And that is huge! Danny Nasir, 4th position. Mads, well, he leads this race. The gap is down to 1.5, but that is huge. Andy Rees shuffled back down. Probably no mistake from anyone else, just his own. And it looks like, oh, and he's having trouble. Oh, he's gonna hit the wall. Just about saves it. And I don't know about him, but if I was him right now, I'd take that car straight to the pits because I know those tires are absolutely cooked. And there you see him. He's babying this car now. And remember, behind him, he's in 6th place around the hairpin. Van Dorn would be the driver to potentially get this move, and those two can meet again. There's no chance you're going to be able to fight against Martin Webster and Danny Nasir, as Webster now goes up into 4th place as Danny comes in for his stop, now on pit exit. That is massive. Meanwhile, Gabriel this lap has pulled off a heap load of time, and now he can start putting the chase down. 125.5 versus a 125.0. 5 tenths he took on Mads' time. And now the battle can start to begin once more. The fireworks are going to go off again. We'll find out. The gap 1.3, 1.2, and we are at 21 minutes left to go in this race. That's it.
That's okay, man.
So, Cody Lawrence, just keeping this one alive, trying to survive out here.
I saw you coming, so
remember,
I just gotta stay to one side to give you a chance.
All good, thank you, sir.
Cody Lawrence, early on in this race, he was in the fight for the podium, but put one tire into the grass, slowed himself down, lost out to both Van Dorn and Rees. But because of the incident between those two drivers, it's allowed Cody Lawrence to get right back into it. Meanwhile, battle for 5th. And just gonna update you on the pit stop situation so far. If I can actually get that info.
Why'd I get a stop and go penalty?
It'll be after your 5 out of 5. It'll be a drive-through, not a stop and go.
Can I do it now or I gotta wait?
You would have to wait.
Oh, because I just got 3 cuts.
Don't worry, you have 3 more. So here comes Andy, putting some big pressure on Danny Nasir now. Remember, these two are battling very hard early on in this race. Unfortunately, I'm not getting the pit stop information for some odd reason. Oh, look how close. Andy is getting to the rear of that Audi and potentially could put a move there onto the outside of the S. It's just Danny back out. Looks like he is going to back out. A little bit of contact between them. Danny Nasir is going to let that position go. He kind of bumped him, but they still go side by side nonetheless through Melbourne Hairpin. Very wide entry, they both go. But Andy Rees, a hard fight, but he's gonna get through. So now Andy Rees up into 5th position. But as it stands right now, Mads, Gabriel, Cody, still yet to make a pit stop. Webster, I believe, has already done so. Rees, I don't think he is just yet. Danny Nasir has, as well as Van Dorn. And Lance Nasir, off the top of my head. Unfortunately, yes, we're not able to get this information on who has made their pit stops from our timing board. We're having some small technical difficulties from that. No matter what, we are at the 19-minute mark. The gap for the lead has gone down significantly. It was 2.1 for a good bit of this race, and it has gone down now to just 1 second. 7 concurrent viewers still. Thank you so much for tuning into Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to give us a like on the stream. Subscribe. We are on course for 650 subscribers. So if you love the action going on here today, you're going to love future events as we race every Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark that on your calendars. Next week out, it's Ferrari Challenge. It's going to be a SPEC series. Ferrari Evos going at it on a track that we're going to decide at the end of today's race. So you do not want to miss out on it, and you definitely do not want to miss out on the finish of today's race for the British Grand Prix. The gap now has been reduced 2 more tenths, 7 tenths. Oh, and oh my, Mads has gone very wide around corner exit, and he's actually into the pits. So, okay, that was definitely on purpose. Matt's trying to get the best entry into the pits, gets into this box, and the work can be done on his car. Now, Gabriel has open air. Now, if I know one thing about Gabriel, he loves to stay out as long as he can. He knows when he's in clean air, he can really push to the absolute limit. And I believe that's what we're going to see him do. As Mads now comes out of pit road, he's going to have fresh air. Van Doren is very far behind him, so now we get back racing here. Fresh tires for Mads, and he is going to push very hard. The gaps have opened up completely. So it's now up to Gabriel and Cody to make their pit stops with 17 minutes left to go. And if I know anything about Gabriel throughout the time I've seen him race,
Okay.
he does like to keep this one out. Oh, in trouble! Oh, and Gabriel got a drive-through! He's got a drive-through! Yes.
I mean, I lost the car and went out of the track and got drive-through, so...
Yeah, you would have gotten 6 out of 6 there. So, that's the only thing I can't clear. I wouldn't be able to clear it since it's a real penalty. So, you're just going to have to drive through to the pits. So, make sure you don't make your stop here.
Yeah, but then, you know, my race is lost then.
Not necessarily. A lot of drivers are still very close to exceeding track limits. They're about 1 or 2 away. You're not the only one. Gabriel has made his drive-through.
Yeah. I've already gotten 3 by losing time and 1 by being pushed off, so...
Now, this race has really changed the dynamic now. Gabriel has gotten a drive-through for exceeding track limits too many times. The drivers don't know, but we did extend the amount. It would normally be 4 cuts, and the 5th one would give you the drive-through, but we have extended it to 5. This is track limits for you. And Gabriel could maybe fighting for a net second place. Behind him, Cody Lawrence, which Cody could slowly be building back up his momentum in this championship. Remember, Mads is not in the playoffs. He does not have a trophy next to his name. The fight for Race of Champions at the moment, Cody Lawrence and Gabriel. So Gabriel still has to make his drive-through. I'm sorry, he has to make his pit stop. He's already made his drive-through. My mistake there. But now Cody Lawrence has gotten a huge opportunity. Don't forget, Matt still has to make a pit stop. He has already made his pit stop, so it's just Gabriel who does have to make his mandatory, and now he comes in. Does Cody stay out? Yes, he does. So, to run it down now, Cody Lawrence is one of the last drivers to make his mandatory pit stop. I believe he should be the last driver to come in. And there we see Gabriel painfully waiting in his pit stall. And, oh, hits the reverse gear by accident, gets right back going. And now game is on. It's now damage limitation to gain back. He has not fixed up any damage onto the car. So he's going to have some work to do to gain back in this championship hunt in this first race. Cody Lawrence has not pitted. So throughout the race now, it's just Cody who's yet to pit. And he's got that 17-second buffer. More than likely would be losing the lead to Mads. So if I was Cody Lawrence, what do I do? Well, honestly, I could stay out longer, but if I'm going to be losing time to Mads, I could be just thinking about making a pit stop between the next 2 laps. Unless he can keep this one alive. I mean, we'll take a look at the lap times. He's put a timer down. Put a timer down. I'm not Italian, I promise. Put a time down of a 1:25.690. We're going to watch Mads now as he comes around and see, with these fresh tires, how is he doing? And it's a 1:25.9. So, Cody Lawrence is quicker, and Cody could potentially pull off an overcut if he can keep this momentum up. He has gained 3/10. Cody Lawrence, as he's gone a little bit off the track, cannot afford that. Not just losing time, it's also the cut tracks. And Gabriel's the first driver to make that drive-through penalty because he exceeded track limits far too many times. And now, this is a huge chance. Remember, Cody Lawrence on the grid, he was saying how, I don't know if I'm going to be a huge player out here to race for this win, but I'm going to try my best. And Cody Lawrence, he's come off of an amazing championship campaign in the GT4 International Championship. And he won that championship. He qualified himself to Race of Champions. And Cody Lawrence is now going to enter the pits. And this is going to be a very crucial stop here for the Audi pit crew. As he comes in, he makes his stop. Here comes Mads as he comes around the final corner. More than likely, I don't believe the overcut's going to be made. But one thing he can pull off now is the fight back up the order. Can he get this car going? Can he even get it going in time for Gabriel to stay ahead of him? I don't know. Gabriel was very quick this lap time. 125.3 in fact, and he's going to overtake him. And that, my friends, is going to put Cody Lawrence back on the back foot here, but the gap is really close down. The 3.5 second buffer Cody Lawrence has. It may not have been the overcut that he was hoping for. If he stayed out longer, maybe these drivers could have made any more mistakes. One thing's for sure. Game is on for Cody Lawrence with the freshest tires in the top 3. And he's going to attempt to pull this one back. And take a look at the top of your screen. He's actually repaired his car. So I don't know if that did cost him a lot of time to the point where that is the reason why he lost both positions. Honestly, it may be because remember, Gabriel took a drive-through, but did come out 3 seconds ahead. So you know what? I don't think necessarily the damage being repaired was a deal breaker for Cody Lawrence. So nonetheless, as this race continues, Cody has the best car in this fight against Gabriel. We look at our race leader now, has extended the gap to 11 seconds. And he has had such a barnstormer, but if he can pull this one off, get to the checkered flag and win this race, would easily be his best race win of his CMRSC career. Remember, to go up and defeat a former champion, let alone a driver who came into the final race at Okayama for the GT World Challenge, 1 point behind one of the greats, Luca Andretti. Well, that is huge. Meanwhile, 2 Race of Champion drivers going at it, Martin Webster and Andy Rees. And Andy has put himself up into P4 in what an amazing recovery drive it has been. As they go down the hill now, 9 minutes left to go. This has been an incredible race here at Donington Park, despite we have seen 9 drivers on track with 1 retiring. Rewind the stream, and you're going to have yourselves a great watch if you have not seen it. 4 cars fighting for the top 3, nose to tail, and it ended in absolute spectacular fireworks, like it did back at Sugo when it was Van Dorn against Rees. Those 2 drivers, they are really your Max and Lewis fighting for the top. As it stands right now, the drivers under a trophy will be classified in their own little championship. So at the moment, that's going to mean Gabriel is the leader of this championship, followed by Cody Lawrence, Andy Rees, Martin Webster, Mike Van Dorn, and then our no-shows, Khalil Rickford, Luca Andretti, and Marlon Young, and Alfie Bevan. So, still a lot of races to go. We have 6 races left. We go into the Ferrari Challenge. Ferrari Challenge, Gabriel has never set foot in the Ferrari in that championship. He was not there for it. So, we're going to find out how he's going to feel around there. Alfie Bevan, who did take part in that championship. Hopefully we should see him for that time. But when we get to Formula 4, you're going to get a really close fight between Gabriel and Cody. Mark my words on it. Cody Lawrence, one of our open wheel specialists. We have yet to see what he can do, but he's very much an open wheel fan over any other GT car. But despite that, this man is a very quick driver. Cross the line now. It's a 125.3 against a 125.3. 383 against a 319. So both of them basically running identical lap times, with Gabriel running just that bit quicker. 6 minutes, 48 seconds left to go, still counting. There's no extra lap after this one, so the drivers are going to be racing to the checkered flag. So this championship really on its head, and Mads, as it stands right now, on top of the world. The quickest driver out of all the Race of Champion qualifiers. And you got to imagine, if Mads took part just a little bit more in the GT4 Championship, the GT4 International Championship. To give you perspective, Mads was not that much of a show throughout that series, but coming to the end of the championship, took a sweep victory. And he went from 11th to 4th. And who was ahead of him? Cody Lawrence. That could have been a scenario where Mads could have been in this playoffs and Cody Lawrence would not have been. What was the gap? Just 11 points. You gotta ask yourselves, what if Mads was in this? Who knows? One thing's for sure. We take a look at the lap times again. 25.3, 25.4, 8.2. So, as this race comes down to the end of it, where we are soon going to see the checkered flag in the air, Mads has outperformed himself, and he is looking for a 4th career victory here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. But remember, this race is far from over. Although we have 5 minutes left to go, the cut tracks is what these drivers are going to be worrying about, and all of them have been pushing to the limit, using as much as they can. They have been warned many times from race direction for cut tracks, and if you reach 5 out of 5 cuts, well, you are going to receive a final warning, and your next cut, if you cut the track 6 times, well, you are going to be receiving a drive-through penalty, and the only driver to take that is Gabriel, which he was on course to win this race a numerous amount of times. The first time getting the move done and leading, but unfortunately coming up to the rear of lap traffic that once again will still be investigated, but potentially could be just a racing incident. Meanwhile, also having to take a drive-through penalty. So still a lot going for him. He is fighting for P2, and as I say that, it was a 25.338 for Gabriel, but for Cody Lawrence, a 25.076. With 3 minutes and 46 seconds left to go, the gap is 3.5. So at this stage now, it's really going to be a do or die situation where Cody Lawrence is going to have to pull a huge margin here and just be quicker as every lap goes by. And has Gabriel just disconnected? I'm just double checking if that's not our side here. And no! Gabriel has... I believe Gabriel may have crashed! I believe Gabriel may be out of this race! We're checking here now. We have seen very much in the past where drivers have been disconnected on the server side, but they would just load back in magically, and it's just a ping difference. We're giving it a minute here, but no. Has Gabriel disconnected? I believe possibly his Wi-Fi may have crashed. We're still waiting on a word from him. We've not heard him yet. But as it stands, if he has retired, that is absolutely huge. That would be, yes, it does look like it. As all the drivers on the leaderboard does overtake him, I believe he may have disconnected from the session. From bad to worse.
Gabriel, did you quit?
I'm looking at him here. I'm not too sure if he had a Wi-Fi issue or his whole game crashed. It does look like he did crash out.
Who's that?
That'd be Gabrielle.
Oh,
Looks like he did crash in.
he's had that problem before.
That's what I'm thinking there, Lance. Meanwhile, Mads has got himself open air, and look at this! Look at this man we're looking at right now! Andy Rees has pulled it off. We're gonna have to still look at the fight against Van Dorn and Andy Rees. But as it stands right now, he is back up in the podium. Cody Lawrence will be leading Race of Champions. The playoffs will go to him. He will lead it. And that is absolutely massive. That's insane. I can't believe it.
My game crashed, so.
Yeah, that's the feeling I got. Was it a Wi-Fi disconnection or just your game froze?
Just content manager couldn't figure out it said something like that, so.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nah.
So.
Yeah, I had frame drops since like the last 30 minutes, so probably, don't know, something overheated maybe.
Absolutely massive.
And got damage on my car, so couldn't drive.
That is absolutely massive for this championship. Gabrielle, probably one of the quickest drivers of the year, is out of this race. And around the final corner, Mads is going to start his final lap. Krogsgaard has had such an amazing race so far. Put his car on pole with 2 1,000ths of a second. The difference between himself and Gabrielle. Mads was able to take the lead with Gabrielle falling behind. But Gabrielle was quickly able to slice through the field. Then, once he was able to, the gap started going down slowly but surely, and Gabrielle put an amazing dive on this driver here that you're looking on your screen to take the lead. It was lap traffic that he was unfortunately able to had to slow down and lost him a heap load of time. Continuing on, he was still in second, but quicker than Mads. But unfortunately, exceeded track limits far too much and had to take a drive-through penalty, losing him this race win, and was forced to fight for second, but now retiring out. I don't think it would have mattered anyway against Krogsgaard here. But Mads, the driver from Denmark, as he comes around to the second and final hairpin. Mads has had an absolute amazing race. He has defended the likes of one of the fastest drivers in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club today. And as he comes around the final corner, what a race it has been. Aston Martin, Mads Krogsgaard is going to take victory here.
On the last lap. Good win. Good win, Mads. Good win.
What a race it was. Cody Lawrence around the final corner will take the lead of the playoffs here, as he's going to take second position in this championship. Andy Rees, as he comes around the exits now.
So much for damage limitation.
Is going to come around the
Mike.
last
I feel for you.
couple
I
corners.
tried to get the run on both of you, and I'll talk about it a little later.
Is going to come around the hairpin. Andy Rees, talk about a comeback, but still under investigation nonetheless. And it's going to be an Andy Masu 1-3, as Andy Rees is going to take home third position, of course, still under investigation from it. Martin Webster, however, has had a great race overall, and he in GT3, it's his specialty, is going to finish in an almighty 4th position. Danny Nasir, around the final hairpin of Goddard's, is going to finish in 5th. Van Doorn, as you heard him, played damage limitation, but it was not enough. However, he has finished ahead of one driver, and that's your one of 2 drivers that retired. Van Doorn will finish 6th. Gabrielle will finish in 8th. That's your Race of Champions drivers. Lance Nasir will take home 7th in your first retirement as Roop Narayan. That is your race winner. Mads, as he is on the start-finish line here. And what a race it has been. All right, that was an incredible race there. Amazing action from all you drivers here. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Amazing show out here for the British Grand Prix. Let's start with our top 3, starting off with our man in 3rd position. Talk about a comeback from hero to 0 and back up to hero. Andy, what an amazing race it was for you. I have to look at the incident between yourself and Cody Lawrence and Mike Van Doorn, but overall, as it stands right now, you finish in 3rd position. How's that race for you?
Yeah, well, I have no business being P3, really. Quite disappointed with myself on the incident there. Yeah, ruined a couple guys' race today, so not very satisfying at all.
Nonetheless, though, yes, we'll be under investigation from it, but 3rd place is still a great comeback on track here. You were able to pull off a very good comeback up through the field against the likes of Danny Nasir and Martin Webster. It was still an incredible effort from you, but how did you feel overall in your car around here?
Well, I had a few spins, which, yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I mean, thought I was in pretty good control of the car, but turns out with enough time you're just gonna spin. I think I probably pushed the car too much trying to make up the loss, and that's just not the right way to go about it. So yeah, I would have liked to be up with the other guys today, but yeah.
You had a very good opening to the start of this race, and potentially, if you guys had kept it clean together, there could have been a good chance that that would have happened. Nonetheless, though, you have pace and you are very competitive with these drivers around here. So I wish you best of luck for next week out in this championship. Congratulations nonetheless, though. 32 laps complete and you still get on the podium.
Yes.
Up into 2nd position, Cody. It was really all about picking through the field. We saw you earlier, did make a little mistake dropping a tire off the track, but then it was all about just keeping your head down. We heard you on the grid that this was not a race that you're going to be the most competitive around here. Well, 2nd place. That's a very good Lewis Hamilton impression. And now you're up into 2nd place. How was that race for you?
Definitely of 2 minds on that one. I mean, I feel a bit lucky to be in 2nd, but at the same time, I felt like I had more to give. I mean, well done to Mads. He drove a fantastic race. I mean, Gabriel was, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, apologies. Gabriel, but he was faster than me as well, but I had damage from lap 1, I think, into something that was completely avoidable. Not really on my end to say avoidable, but I had rear end damage for pretty much the 2/3 of the race, and that sucked, but I kept it closer than I expected. Yeah, I mean, 2 minds to say is I'm happy to be in 2nd, but there was definitely just some unnecessary aggression, and I hate to speak ill of that, of course. It's just, I think things could have gone a little bit better. I probably wouldn't have finished better than where I did, but would have liked a little bit better, you know?
As a racing perspective, I can completely agree with you, but at the same time, you got to argue that you just got to take what you can get in racing here, and this may just be the gift you need as you continue throughout this championship. It was very competitive for you, especially in the opening 7 laps of this race, being nose to tail in a 4-car battle for the podium. So this may be that little advantage you just need to hold off But nonetheless, though, it was an amazing effort from you to finish in second place there. Congratulations.
For sure. Thank you very much. Like I said, want a little bit more. I think I could have done a little bit better, but I think Mads and Gabriel, they had the better of me. It's a shame for Gabriel to lose that on the P2 in the end, but yeah, you just have to take what you can get, and I'm lucky to be second, I would say. So, thank you very much.
And then our race winner swept that Sugo. And over here for the British Grand Prix, he's your only driver in the top 3 who is not in the playoffs, but it doesn't matter. Mads, you take the race win here for the British Grand Prix. And what an amazing fight you had. An all-time classic with Gabrielle. Mads, you take the win here for the British Grand Prix. How does that feel?
It feels quite nice. First of all, my qualifying lap was amazing. I had not driven anything within 3/10 of that before, so
wow.
Just in qualifying found a bit of pace out of nowhere. Then into the race, I really expected Gabriel to get past me very quickly. Then he had some fights in the start, and then I made a mistake and he got past me, and then I got quite lucky with some back markers taking him out. And from there on, just trying to manage the gap quite hard because he's very fast. So yeah, I felt like from other weekends that, especially last week where I had some BOP advantage, I feel like I had to prove myself at some point as a fast driver, and I feel like I did that today. So
100%. Yeah, let's not forget. Yeah, but regardless, I think you both had such an amazing race, and even with that, the incident that Gabriel had early on in the race, he was still able to pull back a lot of time on you. So who knows what would have happened if you guys came together and fought once more. But nonetheless, though, you just got to take what you can get around here, and to take the top step in a race that you are finishing ahead of drivers who have won championships. I mean, that is just such a good thing to come out of this week and continue this momentum into the next. So, Mads, congratulations on the race win. Very much deserved on your end. You proved it in qualifying that you were one of the best to beat, and you proved it out here by taking that W. So, congratulations.
thank you.
And just before we end off the stream here, I'm just going to send it a quick screen share to show you guys what is going to be the next track for the championship. So give me just one moment here to pull this up. And what an amazing race. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's race, and we will see you next week out for Ferrari Challenge Round 2 of Race of Champions. Alright, just going to pull this up now. And we are going to see what is the next track. All right, so you can peep the screen share. And so essentially, if you're now seeing this for the first time, we're going to spin a wheel and it's going to determine the next track. The only track that it cannot pick is Road Atlanta, since that track has already been selected, it was already used from that round. So you have the opportunity of getting any one of the other tracks. One wheel spin unless we do get Road Atlanta. So we are going to see what track we are going to be racing for Ferrari Challenge. That track is going to be
Mosport.
Red Bull Ring. Very close to Mosport. So you guys are going to get the Red Bull Ring in Ferrari Challenge. So I think that's a very good combo to come around. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. That server will be up directly after the stream. Download links are already available in the track pack. So yeah, the server will go up momentarily. But yes, next round, it'll be Ferrari Challenge at the Red Bull Ring. Can't wait to see you guys over there next.
That's single make, right?
Yes. So we're going to let the drivers talk with each other. That's going to do it here for Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club Round 1. An incredible effort from all the drivers. What a race it was between all of them. You got that fight, the top 4 there, all putting it together. Almost a top 5, basically. Top 6, maybe? ended in fireworks will be looked at, and then it was Mads against Gabriel duking it out for the race win. Both of them trading together, but it was Mads who took the top step. After an unfortunate result from Gabriel, cannot forget a bit of an unfortunate ending to Mike Van Doorn's race, but these drivers are going to come back a lot stronger. They are heavy contenders for Race of Champions. We are 6 rounds away from the end. Round 2, though, it's Ferrari Challenge at the Red Bull Ring. That is going to be such an awesome race. Can't wait to see you there.
This lake of fire burns my skin. How could love wear so thin? I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel